morning. I am here in San Diego, which is exciting because I've been traveling for the last, the last 3 weeks in Barbados, Utah, all over the place, Los Angeles, and now I am back in San Diego, which makes me absolutely thrilled. So I wanted to jump in here and just to have coffee with you this morning, although my tea is in the other room. And at 7 a.m., I do a coffee with Shanda where it's really dedicated towards entrepreneurs who want to grow their business. And I did a survey yesterday and asked people, do you want me to do this once a week, or do you prefer me to do this on a daily basis at 7 a.m.? And the majority of people said that they preferred me to do it every morning. Thanks, you guys. Every morning, really? Every morning at 7? I've already been doing that for 2 years. But I hear you, and I care about what you care about, and I'm happy to be here with you Monday through Friday, unless it is my flex week, which is the last week of the month, or I'm somehow traveling or doing events, which I'm doing next week. I'm doing a lot of events next week. I'm doing 2 back-to-back events. And I wanted to talk about the feelings behind that. So I know that when I started my business, I had a certain level of bandwidth of what I was able to accomplish and what I was able to mentally handle. And then there's today, and then there's where I want to be. And so I know you're somewhere in the funnel, your own funnel of personal well-being, personal emotional stability, right? We always have a breaking point of stability, emotional stability. It's called EQ, that each and every single one of us have. And guess what? You need intellect. You need IQ, which is intellect. You need EQ, which is emotional, and you also need other Qs in the funnel to be able to grow your business. And so I'm going to talk about the EQ right now, the emotional piece. Even though my calendar gets stacked, I want to tell you to really kind of put it through the lens of what's a priority to you. But the challenge to that is often your friends and family lose. And I know that's not what you mean to do. I know that there's nobody on this planet that really thinks that, working is going to, be the thing at the end of the day that you would have rather worked than spent time with people you love. However, like in my case at least, I don't know what your business is, but in my case at least, and I would say most of you the same, when I'm working, I am changing people's lives. And so the more lives I do, the more content I create, the more people I hire inside of Heartcore. In the last 2 weeks, we've hired 3 more people, key players, key leaders, one who is already a millionaire. And why would a millionaire come into Heartcore and be an employee or a team member? Well, actually 2 of them are. Actually, that's not true. Actually, all 3 of them are. Now that I think about it, the one of them I wasn't even calculating like that piece. But why would they come into Heartcore? It's because they see the movement of the people that we work with, and none of the conversations have been about how much money can I make or any of those conversations. It's been about like, our skills together, are they stronger? And if they're stronger, people who are really purpose-driven, they find a way to always make the money. They find a way to be so good that they can make the money. And typically they will they'll bank their work ethic on results versus people who come to you and bank their work ethic off they deserve a certain amount of money. You get what I'm saying? So the reason why I'm sharing this with you is because when I go work, or when you go work, you're connecting with people. So it doesn't have to be a business coach. Like I'm a business coach, obviously, if I help people make more money, and if I can get them more emotionally stable, if I get them to freaking watch their modules. I mean, it's crazy to me. People will spend, thousands of dollars with me and not watch their modules because they're like, it takes too long, or I just wish you'd get to the point, or whatever their shit is inside their head. That is emotional. That is a low EQ when they're thinking like that. And I'm not stamping on them at all. I'm saying, listen, you tune into Coffee with Shanda because you want the truth. You don't want me to butter you up and pretend like there's not something you need to change inside you to be able to up level. No different than myself. I have to change different thought patterns inside myself. Like, when my calendar's stacked, my bandwidth is much bigger today because I don't have all the resistance that I used to have around I was guarding my time so much. When I was guarding my time, it was like a fight against me and my business. And now it's not that way at all. It's really, I run by rules, meaning that I have a rule, and I have a rule that I don't work the last week of the month. Does that ever change? Maybe twice in a year. And I'm about to make that shift this month. So I would be completely lying to you if I stood here and said, it's so perfect, it's always like this. And I hear mentors say that online. It's like, no, there's a grace to growing a business, and there's a flexibility. But I have a rule that I don't work the last week of the month, and maybe twice in a year do I ever break that. I'm going to break it this month because in December, I take off a big chunk of time to be with my family, and that is my family time. And believe it or not, it's hard to come back in January and revamp myself up. And I've had many of my clients experience the same thing, because a lot of my clients will take the same schedule I have, which is I take the last week of the month off, not because I'm guarding my time, not because I'm trying to have a balanced life. It's actually because emotionally I'm better when I have that week to be able to just do nothing. And sometimes I get bored on that week. If I don't plan properly, I could get bored on that week. So just because, we have an 8-figure company doesn't mean that my life is like, woohoo, it's like, come on guys, like we're all human. We all have the same emotions. It's all the same. And so please don't make up things about people that you see who have great, social media teams like we do that are coming today to do content day. I'm going to work really hard all day, and I don't know how many videos I'm going to produce for the next couple months of our platforms online and our email list. And, we're going to do a lot. You hear what I'm saying? Like, we're going to do a lot. But it's like I have a team of people that are editing the pictures so that they look great. I don't even know how to do that stuff. I don't want to know how to do it. In fact, I asked the other day, and then I said, I don't want to listen to that Voxer. I don't want to listen to that message because I don't want to know. Because an entrepreneur, I learned this right at the beginning of my business. I never learned the tech. And the reason why I never learned the tech is because I'm a doer. And if I learned the tech, then I'm gonna try and save money and do those pieces, which means that my bandwidth is gonna be screwed for making money. My point is, it's better to put your ass on the line and hire somebody, even if you don't know how you're gonna pay for them, and do what it takes to make the money over the month so that you're working your bandwidth in the right areas. So when I look at your bandwidth, I look at my bandwidth, you look at your bandwidth, the first thing that I look at is how many appointments and meetings do I have? Now, I don't know where you are in your business, but when I started my business, I didn't have any appointments. I was praying for those appointments. I was praying for those clients. I was just doing everything I could to make money. I was doing everything I could to create relationships with people that we could do strategic partnerships with, which we teach, telesummits, video summits, all that type of stuff. In fact, we're about to do one in Hardcore because it's so exciting to be able to create a movement, and it's still the most lucrative business model that I've found to date. I just sat in a room of some of the most intelligent people in marketing and business and online digital media, some of them spending $100,000 a day on Facebook ads. And, the same thing as I was looking at a new strategy, same thing I teach everybody else. And they're like, why would you do a new strategy? That strategy is working really well. Why would, and I'm like, I know, that's so true, right? I say this all the time, but you'll see somebody doing something powerful and you're like, oh, maybe I should go do that. But yet, like, profitability on the models I teach are more profitable than the ones that are spending $100,000 a day. Don't get me wrong. I want to spend $100,000 a day. But my point is even listen to that, I want to spend $100,000 a day. It's like, so there's this mindset that needs to shift from like cost. Like my business coach is a cost. No, your business coach is an investment. Are you doing the studying now? Are you looking at your calendar, and are you getting meetings and things out? So I will choose studying I will choose studying and reading books over, going for lunch with my friends. And this is the truth. This is why I have the last week of the month, and I have weekends, because that's when I pour into those relationships. During the week, I am like a horse with like blinders on. And it's like somebody will say, hey, let's do this, or oh, there's another shiny object, an opportunity to go do this. I'm like, no, I don't do anything. I literally study. So what I do is between, other than coffee with Shanda at 7 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, I study till 10. The fact that I have a content day today, I have a team that's going to be here. I already have, Carla's already here, who is my stylist, and I'm lucky enough that she does my hair as well, which I love. But she's already here. She came last night. And then, but our team's going to be walking in the door. They're probably walking in the door now. And they're going to but that kind of messes with my schedule. So I got up this morning, I read my scripture, I did my morning routine or portion of it, because normally what I would do now is I would dive into the work that I need to do for the day. And I get as much work as I can do before the world gets going. In fact, I've already done a bunch before 7 a.m. so that I set myself up to win, and I've got the rest of the day to be reactive, because that's what's going to happen to all the other things that are trying to come in my play. So now say I don't have a business this size. I'm more being reactive to people. Like, I have clients who message me that are not in our 1% club. What am I going to say? No, don't message me. No, I'm going to respond to them. If I see their messages, I'm going to respond to them. Multiple different inboxes all over the place. By the way, if you send me an inbox message on Facebook and I haven't answered yet, it's not because I don't want to. I'm in there all the time. And I also have 2 other people in the inboxes, one that's dedicated to help with the volume coming in. But now let's look at our moms, our dads, our friends, people who want to go for lunch or dinner, like all these distractions that come in. You have to put blinders on and go, what is your bandwidth? So I get appointments. To me are dinner appointments, coffee appointments, team appointments, client appointments, appointments to train our PACE program, like any appointments on my calendar. I try and get as many of them off, or I try and stack them into 2 days out of the week. So if you're ever a client of ours, you'll notice that the majority of anything that we offer in training is on Monday or Tuesday. We now have a sales training that happens that we just added in for our clients in sales on Thursday, which was an added bonus, which I do all the time. I start adding things if I think that they're needed. I'm gonna find somebody that's qualified to teach it or train it with me. I don't always do all the training, only because of the fact that I'm trying to serve more people and plug any holes that somebody might have in their business. So when you're looking at your bandwidth, realize that there's different layers of this piece. But the first thing you need to look at is, how are you organizing appointments? So almost every Friday, I have nothing on my calendar. I've done that for years. I don't know why, but at least in the coaching industry, almost any time I meet somebody new, I'll say, hey, do you want to meet for coffee or something on a Friday? Because I don't have anything on Fridays. And the power of that is it puts me in this space so that I can, I don't feel like I'm rushed or trying to fit things in. So I don't know does this help you guys? Is this helping at all? Like, just like how I'm thinking through like my bandwidth and how to grow? Because what I see is people get ambitious and you allow other people to dictate when you should meet. So if I met you on the street or met you at an event, you're like, and I said, oh, let's go on Friday, you're like a yes, even if you're stacked, right? With a million things to do, and you got, a kid's soccer game, or you've got your stacked. And so what I'm saying is create rules. What day of the week, what time of the month, that sounds horrible. What time of the month is really a great time for you to just not have appointments on your calendar? And I suggest you make it a rule, like actually make it a rule in your calendar and tell everybody what that rule is. You can't just keep the rule to yourself, because that's a breakdown in communication. You have to tell everybody what the rule is. And when you do that, then people start to organize themselves around your schedule. You're going to find that most people have no rules in their life. And what happens is that you're going to fit into their calendar, and then your calendar is going to get just completely like killed, right? Thanks, Mel, and the glasses. They're blue blockers. My eyes are starting to have some challenges with the computer, so they're blue blockers. Okay, so anyway, I hope this was helpful. So look for the rules, and here's the structure around this. What days of the month do you want to take off? The more consistent it is, the better. So random doesn't work. It's too hard for people to keep track of. So do you want to take every Friday off? Do you want to take the last week of the month off? Do you want to take off every weekend? What does that look like for you? Make the rule. Make the rule on when you do videos. Like, when do you do videos? When do you do content? You know, like we do a content day that's usually 2 days every couple months. So we do 2 days every couple months now. We used to do 1 day. And we try and do 3 months of content in those 2 days. So like, and what days are best for those? So look at your calendar and look at the rules. Even right now, I'm going to go back. I changed a rule. I moved our VIP days up to early in the morning, and it's really hurting my ability to be productive. And so now I have to go back to my super awesome executive operations assistant and really talk to her and work with her around, like, what does she think a better solution might be for my calendar, because it actually really doesn't work for me if I have anything scheduled before 10 a.m. other than Coffee with Shanda. So look at what works in your natural flow. It drives me crazy when I hear people say, you have to do it like this, you have to do it like that. No, no, no. You have to see what is your least path of resistance to success. And that is connected to your EQ, your emotional stability. Now, I do know some of you guys have to strengthen your emotional, IQ or EQ, but where you're starting now, look for the point of least resistance to make yourself stronger. For me, that is no appointments before 10, because I can study the email marketing courses. I can cut the videos that I want to do. I work during that time. It's my most productive time. And so I don't walk the dog. I used to work out. I stopped doing that. You know, so it's like I look at what, like, you need to define and create. It's like building a business. You got to build your schedule. And when you get the right perfect schedule for you, what happens is you become uber productive, and everything you're working on goes up, and your happiness level goes up as well. So that's my gift to you guys. I am going to go get ready, go grab something to eat, and start with our team in like 10 minutes from now. And I will see you on 7 a.m. Coffee with Shanda tomorrow morning. If you appreciate this live, please take a moment and let somebody know about it. All right, you guys, I'll talk to you soon. Bye.